This is video 22. We will continue with National Cancer Control Program. So as introduction, it was in introduction, it was introduced in the year 1976 to 75 to 76, and it was revised. This program was again revised in the year 1984 in order to care the changing needs of the disease of the program. So it was revised. Okay, so it has undergone 3 revisions, with the 3rd revision in December 2004. So initially it was started in the year 1975 to 76, then it was revised in the year 1984, and again there was a revision which was done in December 2004. So we see that there have been 3 revisions. The program now has been integrated into National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Cardiovascular Diseases, Diabetes and Stroke since 2011. Okay, so it also has, along with prevention control of cancer, they concentrate on CVS, diabetes and stroke since 2011. So what is the magnitude of the problem? Okay, so cancer is an important public health problem with 7 to 9 lakh cases occurring every year. Okay, at any point of time it is estimated that there are nearly 2.5 lakh cases in the country. 4 lakh deaths are estimated to occur every year due to cancer. 40% of the cancer in the country are due to tobacco. It is estimated that cancers of lip, tobacco chewing leads to cancer of lip, oral cavity, nasopharynx, pharynx, larynx. So 1,05,000 new cases and 78,000 deaths annually. So if you see in the lungs, it is mainly with 47,000 new cases and 42,000 deaths. Esophagus, 29,000 new cases and 27,000 deaths. Stomach, 21,000 new cases and 21,000 deaths. And colorectal cancer, 20,000 new cases and 14,000 deaths. The most frequent sites of cancer among women in India are cervix, uterus. So 1,34,000 new cases, 73,000 deaths annually, and breast, 1,15,000 new cases and 54,000 deaths. So cancer is one of the chronic health disease, because in every case you see that the death rate is also high. What happens is all the normal cell also gets affected, and when the patient is under treatment, chemotherapy, okay, again there is a destruction of the normal cells. So what happens is, and many cases when they get recovered within few months or within few years, there is a relapse, there is a recurrence that is happening. So because of this, the death rate is highly increased. So we see how it was started 95, and then 84 it was again revised. Okay, and 91 to 92 it was District Cancer Control Program. 2000 to 1 it was Modified District Cancer Control Program initiated. Then 2004 evaluation of NCCP by NIH FW and program 2005. Okay, so these are the evolution, how it started. Okay, next we'll go to goals and objectives of NCCP. Okay, so National Cancer Control Program. So mainly we know, so every goal is to promote primary prevention of cancer by health education. So we have seen like how tobacco chewing, smoking, getting exposure to radiation, maintaining good diet. Okay, so all this has its own, but still sometimes it is also unknown. It can be hereditary predisposition. So primarily we have to prevent through health education, especially regarding hazards of tobacco consumption, necessity of genital hygiene for prevention of cervical cancer. Okay, next you have promote secondary prevention. So 3 prevention, primary and next is secondary. Here early detection should be done. Diagnosis of cancer, for example, cancer of cervix, breast and the oropharyngeal cancer by screening methods, and patients education of self-education method. So whenever they find a lump, immediately they have to come for the test. So early detection will help them for early diagnosis and prevention. Okay, to strengthen of existing cancer treatment facility which are awfully inadequate. So we should have more of health facilities where patients can be admitted and they can be treated, to provide palliative care in terminal stage of the cancer. So as we know, palliative care is nothing but symptomatic care. So when you have gone to Kidwai, you would have seen when they have no hope that the patient will recover, only based on the symptoms they will give this palliative care. So these are the main goals and objectives of NCCP. Then what are the existing scheme that comes under NCCP, we will see. So there are 5 schemes under this revised program. So recognition of new regional care centers by providing a one-time grant of 5 crore. Okay, so they have been provided with one grant, that is 5 crore, and then strengthening, that is in the regional cancer center. Then strengthening of existing, already when we have regional, we have to strengthen that regional cancer center by providing one term grant of 3 crore. Then development of oncology wing by providing enhanced grant of 3 crore to the government institution like medical colleges as well as government hospital by given a grant of 3 crore. Then district cancer control program by providing grant in aid of 90 lakhs spread over a period of 5 years. Then decentralized NGO, okay, non-governmental organization scheme by providing a grant of rupees 8,000 per camp to the NGO for the IEC activity. So they get involved, in having camp and providing IEC program. So for them also per camp the government is providing with rupees 8,000. Okay, so these are the various existing schemes under NCCP. Next we will see Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi scheme. Okay, so Health Minister Cancer Patient Fund, HM, it is called as Health Minister's Cancer Patient Fund. So HMCPF with the Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi. So in this only they are giving. Scheme has been set up in the year 2009. In order to utilize the HMCPF, it is proposed to establish the revolving fund like RAN and the various regional cancer center which are getting fund for equipment for cancer program of Government of India. Such steps should ensure and speed up financial assistance to needy patients and would help to fulfill the objective of HMCPF under RAN. So making sure that under every regional cancer centers, they should make sure that they are providing to the people who are unable to meet the needs. For them fund can be given, okay, below poverty line people who are affected with the cancer, for their treatment fund can be given. Then we have Regional Cancer Research and Treatment Center. So there are 17 regional cancer research centers in India at present. Their main function are cancer detection. So what do? They detect cancer, diagnose, they give therapy, then aftercare and rehabilitation. Education and training are given, cancer registration and how much of cases are there, that is registered, and research also are being conducted by them. So coordination with the medical colleges and the general health infrastructure is the essential feature. The core requirement of a regional cancer center are divisions of surgical oncology. So there itself you have various divisions like surgical oncology where they do the surgery and remove the tumor. Radiation is there where they give radiation, and medical chemotherapy with support from Department of Anesthesiology, Pathology, Cytopathology, Hematology, Biochemistry and Radio diagnosis with appropriate equipment and staff. So all these are carried out under Regional Cancer Research and Treatment Center. Then we talk about oncology wings in medical colleges. The target of the National Cancer Control Program is to develop such oncology wings in all medical colleges in the country. So medical colleges would form an important link between the regional centers on one hand and the more peripheral health infrastructure, that is in the district hospital, tehsil hospitals, PHCs and the other hand. Financial assistance has been released for medical colleges, hospitals for installation of cobalt therapy facilities. So making sure, so all this is all found in the countrywide, and then in various peripheral hospitals also, like district, tehsil hospitals, PHC on the other hand, where treatment could be given, and then financial assistance also to be given, release for the medical colleges, hospital for installation where they can give radiation therapy through cobalt therapy facilities. Next we will see District Cancer Control Program. So this program, it was launched in the year 1990 to 95. Under the program, each state and union territory as advised to prepare their projects on health education, early detection and pain relief measures. The district program has 5 elements. So what are the 5 elements? Health education they give, early detection, training of medical and paramedical personnel, palliative treatment and pain relief, coordination and monitoring. So these are the 5 elements that they focus. The National Cancer Registry Program, it was launched. Okay, National Cancer Registry Program was launched in 1982 by Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR. Okay, and then to provide true information on cancer prevalence and incidence. So where all cancer is there and their new cases. So what are the objective of this program? To generate authentic data on the magnitude of cancer problem in India. So to give exact truthful information of how much of existence of these cases are there, to undertake epidemiological investigation, so we'll know, how to do the investigation and advise how to control measures, of cancer, and then to promote human resources development in cancer epidemiology, so making sure that human resource development also is done, so that in order to control the cancer. Okay, then tobacco free initiatives also is very important, because we have seen like how many cases that has come because of this cancer. Okay, that is the tobacco chewing. So WHO also established the tobacco free initiatives in the year 1998. Then long term mission of TFI of WHO is to reduce smoking. So we see that TFHI is TFI, tobacco free initiative, okay, of WHO, has made sure to reduce smoking prevalence and tobacco consumption in all the countries and among all groups, and thereby reduces the burden of disease caused by tobacco, through which the burden of the disease can be reduced through tobacco. So that initiative was taken so that there will be tobacco free in the nation. So this was done in 1998. So what are the main goals? Galvanize global support for evidence-based tobacco control policies and action. So evidence-based it is. So among so much of tobacco users, how many are getting affected? So that will create an awareness. Build new partnership for action and strengthen existing one. Already the institution which are there, so build with them, coordinating with them, making sure that this program also can be strengthened. Heighten awareness of the need to address tobacco issues at all levels of society. So it should be in the remote, rural, urban, everywhere it has to be targeted to give an awareness regarding this issues of tobacco. Then accelerate the implementation of national, regional, global strategies. So whatever strategies has been set, making sure that it has been implemented. Commission policy research to support required action. So making sure that adequate support. Okay, commission policy research, you have to provide rapid, sustained and innovative action should be taken. Mobilize resources to support required action. So making sure that these resources are mobilized in order to take the action. So these are the various goal of TFI. Okay, so in this we have seen about the national under National Cancer Control Program, we have seen the introduction. Then we have seen the magnitude of the problem, how much of cases, then evolution of NCCP, what are the goals, then existing schemes under NCCP, then Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi scheme, then Regional Cancer Research and Treatment Center, then oncology wings in medical colleges. Then we have seen District Cancer Control Program, what are their elements, the National Cancer Registry Program and their objectives. Okay, then tobacco free initiatives. Okay, so yeah, we have done that. Next we will go to Yaws Eradication Program. So introducing as an introduction, this program was started in 1996 to 97 in Koraput districts of Odisha, then extended to endemic states such as centrally sponsored health scheme. So Yaws is a disfiguring and debilitating non-venereal disease. Okay, so yeah, so it is a disfiguring and debilitating, which can even cause serious illness in the people, non-venereal. Okay, so it is not sexually transmitted disease. Okay, so it is a disfiguring, debilitating, okay, non-venereal disease. It is highly infectious disease transmitted by direct, which is from person to person contact. Skin shows early lesions, which shows little scarring on healing. So here you will see that skin gets infected. Okay, it is not through sexual transmission or anything, but it leads to early lesions. You can see the patches like that, and scarring even after it gets healed, you still see, and it is very sickening disease. Disease can be progressive, involving bone and cartilage, which causes disability. So though it is a skin, it also affects the bones and it affects the cartilages, which can lead to disability in a person. Yaw does not have extra human reservoir of infection and can be cured by single injection of long acting penicillin. So we can cure it through a single injection, that is benzathine benzyl, that is long acting penicillin can be given. So yaws occur in remote, hilly and forest areas that have limited accessibility to healthcare services. So mainly we see, here we have not heard of this disease, but it is most common in remote and hilly, okay, areas. Then cases of yaws have been reported from 27 districts in 9 states. Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. So in all these states, maybe in the remote areas, okay, they have been reported with, you know, all these 9 states, and about they were about you know, from 27 districts and 9 states. So we have dealt with, you know, we have seen 9 states. Okay, so objective. So this is of the introduction. Next we will go to objective. So to achieve no case of transmission of yaws. So that is the, you know, their aim. So there should be no case, okay, of yaws infection in the country. To eradicate yaws, no stereoactivity of RPR, VDRL in children below, that is venereal disease, below 5 years of age from the country. Okay, so to eradicate cause, okay, so it should be made sure from the whole country it should be eradicated. Okay, and then to achieve case of there should be no transmission, there should be 0 cases. The government of Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha have taken several initiatives to interrupt of infection by mass administration of single dose of penicillin in the affected areas, yaw cells. So yaw cells have been established in Division of Epidemiology to coordinate all. So wherever it was infected, and we see that Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, they have taken various, you know, they have taken various steps to eradicate completely from their states. Yaw cells also were formed where these epidemiology cases were found. So they were given 1 shot of penicillin, benzazine, benzyl, that we have seen, right? 1 dose cures the disease. So program strategy, manpower development, detection of cases, treatment of cases and contacts, IEC involving multi-sectoral approach. So manpower development should be done, and then detection of the cases has to be done, then treatment of the cases, then IEC, that is a health education, okay, among the people. Then operation component, the case detection is carried out by active surveillance, close monitoring, house to house visit by trained paramedical workers, and treatment of cases and contacts simultaneously and immediately after detection. In such cases, a colored recognition cards are given to the patient. So once when the patient is identified, they are given with the treatment, and colored cards also are given to the patient. Okay, so that is how the operation is carried out. So when we say treatment, WHO has 3 methods of treatment: total mass treatment, juvenile mass treatment, selective mass treatment. So when we say total mass treatment, here in areas where yaws is hyperendemic, 10, that is greater than 10% prevalence of clinical active yaws, treatment is given to all irrespective of disease status or person. Whether the person has got disease or not, still the patient will be given with the injection of penicillin. Okay, if it is more than 10% of prevalence of clinically active, 10% of cases are there, then treatment to everybody it is given. That's why we call it as total mass, total population treatment. Next, juvenile for children. So juvenile treatment in meso-endemic countries. So we call it as hyperendemic when it is actually about 10% case, and we call it as meso-endemic when the cases is about 6 to 10%. Here treatment is given to all cases, to all children under 15 years of age and other obvious contacts of infectious cases. Apart from infectious cases, all children will be treated. That's why we call that as juvenile mass treatment. All the children under the age of 15 will be given if it is a meso-endemic community. Then if it is selective mass treatment, that is in hypo-endemic, if it is less than 5% prevalence, then treatment is confirmed to cases, their household and other obvious contacts of infectious cases. So only the cases which are affected with yaws, okay, if it is less than 5% hypoendemic, then it will be given only to the confined cases, to their household members, family members and other contacts of infectious cases, and any other infectious cases they will be giving the treatment. So this is about WHO, how it has been carried out: total mass treatment, juvenile mass treatment, selective mass treatment, and achievement of yaws eradication program. So the discovery in 2012 that a single oral dose of the antibiotic azithromycin can completely cure yaws has added momentum to eradication. So later in 2012 they also found out that single dose of this azithromycin only can cure this disease completely. It can be eradicated. Now only 14 countries are known to be endemic, which also targeted to eradicate by 2020. So initially we see that how 27 districts in 9 states, okay, were affected, okay, but now they say that it has come down like 14 countries worldwide if you see, and then they say that it can also be eradicated by 2020. In 2017, Philippines confirmed some cases. India is the first country officially declared free of yaws by WHO in 2016. So 2014, polio was eradicated completely in India, and 2016, yaws was completely eradicated and it was declared by WHO. Okay, so with this we will end up, and then next we will carry on with other topic in next class.